Hey guys, I'm here to do a review on a very interesting TV show. I am an absolute huge fan of Alfred Hitchcock. He made like 53 movies, and I've seen just about all of them, except for a couple of his early ones. A lot of it, most of really all the films that I haven't seen were from like 1936, 37, all the way back to 20, like 1921, 22 when he made The Lodger. Really, in that time period, those are the movies that I haven't seen a lot of. But Alfred Hitchcock is a genius when it comes to filmmaking. And not only did he dominate movies, he also dominated TV for like 8 years, 7, 8 years. Alfred Hitchcock Presents. This is very different from TV shows that you would have watched in the 50s. If you grew up in the 50s, you were watching maybe The Lone Ranger, Hunt of Lucy, Leave It to Beaver, Ozzie and Harriet, Tonight Show. I mean, there were some mystery shows in that time, like Twilight Zone. I mean, I would only compare the Twilight Zone to Alfred Hitchcock Presents. Some of the stuff that they did on this show was kind of pretty, I guess you would call graphic for that time. And I love, the opening and closing monologues that Hitchcock does. Um, he does some very funny things on this show, and it's just this show is a masterpiece. I can't get enough of it. I only have one box set because I can never find them. I mean, I have watched a lot of the episodes on the internet, and I've borrowed a lot of them. This one I got for like $10 at I think it was a Walgreens or something. But this is season 3, and it has 39 episodes. It's on 5 discs, and it has some great episodes, like Lamb to the Slaughter. That's probably one of his most famous episodes. The Foghorn, that's pretty good. Crocodile Case, Death Sentence. It's got some really great episodes on here. And he had a lot of important guest stars, such as William Shatner, Vincent Price, Peter Lorre, Joseph Cotton, Fay Wray, Hume Cronyn. Hume Cronyn was in Lifeboat and Shadow of a Doubt, and he also helped write Rope. Fay Wray, of course, from King Kong. Peter Lorre from some mystery movies of that time. Joseph Cotton was in Shadow of a Doubt. Vincent Price, House on Haunted Hill, The Tingler, House of Wax, Abominable Dr. Phibes. William Shatner, Star Trek. This is a terrific show. Now there was like 268 episodes, and Hitchcock only directed like 17. And I believe there's like 1 or 2 episodes on this season that he directs. And this series ran from 1955 to 1962, and that's a pretty long time for around that time period. A lot of TV shows didn't last that long. Um, the last 3 seasons, they lengthened the show to 60 minutes, and they renamed it the Alfred Hitchcock Hour. And I don't think every box set has been released yet, as far as I know. Um, release seasons 1 through 4 were probably the best ones. Um, Nothing really ever repeats itself in the series. A lot of shows do that. Um, the opening and closing monologues are really a lot of times the highlight of the show. Um, I mean, at the time, like, this is dealing with murder and the paranormal and some very questionable things, for the early 50s. In the early 50s, you couldn't even say pregnant on TV, and now we have, full orgy scenes, on TV now. But, I mean, It lasted until 1962, and I believe it was either repicked in like the late 70s, early 80s. It didn't last very long, but I haven't seen any of those episodes. None of the box sets have been released for the newer series. If you do type in like Alfred Hitchcock Presents 1980 on YouTube, you can see the intro and a couple of the episodes. Again, I don't think it lasted very long, and I think most of the episodes aired after his death. And it's I I just can't get enough of Alfred Hitchcock. It was nominated for 15 Emmys, and this was an instant hit when it first aired in '55. My parents grew up watching this show. I mean, they really loved it. And at the time, 39 episodes in one season was a lot. I mean, most of the time it was roughly 22, 25 episodes in one season. Um, you know, but check out Alfred Hitchcock Presents if you're a fan of the movies. The TV show, although it's not as graphic as his movies, they're still really good. It gives you an opportunity to see a lot more Hitchcock, even though a lot of them he didn't direct or write, but he did, I believe, choose the stories for every single episode, so they did have his touch. But I mean, check this series out if you haven't seen it. If you ever see a box set, just pick it up, even if it's 40, $50, it's still worth your money to see more Hitchcock. This is definitely one of the highlights of the '50s, and I highly recommend it to any Hitchcock fan.